All right, good. Wow, look at that. That's a way to start. A very good morning to you. Welcome to Mornings with Ken Rosato. Today is Thursday, February 19th, 2026. We will take your calls at 888-658-0234 to kick things off. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast near you.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
Wow, Mike, I just saw the frog that was in my throat. It was bigger than my fist.
Well, I don't have one for that. Sorry. Need another espresso. Need another shot of espresso. It's just we're dragging along here. We're hard pressed to find the sun, Ken. So we have another day of clouds, another day of gray sky. It's going to be a little dreary yet again. Even look at these clouds rolling in across New Jersey. Some light showers across the central part of the state. Even that rain continuing out west, where they've been dealing with flooding rains up and down the coast of California. More wet weather moving into the north coast and then even down towards SoCal. The mountain snow continues. You've heard about those deadly avalanches, and now another 2 feet of snow on top of what's already fallen there in the Sierras. So that snow machine just keeps on churning, especially as those flooding rains continue down toward the LA basin. So that's a big problem for folks out west. As far as the rest of the country, there's this milder trend that keeps moving eastward. It will bring temperatures much higher than average. Could even possibly see some records set throughout the southeast there toward Georgia and the Carolinas, so it does turn warmer, and that's what keeps us wet into tomorrow in New Jersey. We'll likely see some of that wet weather take over throughout tomorrow, lasting into tomorrow afternoon. There is still that very strong potential of a snowmaking system on Sunday night into Monday, and yes, it could be a classic nor'easter. A lot of the global models are kind of converging on that solution. Some of the high resolution ones, not so much, so there's still that uncertainty, but we'll break it down for you. We've got some latest informations coming up with your next weather update, Ken, in a few minutes.
I'm rooting for the higher resolution. Go high resolution. Go high resolution. All right, Mike. Thank you, sir. It is 34 degrees in northern New Jersey, 36 degrees in Trenton. On the West Coast right now, it's a chilly 43 degrees in LA. So how is it possible? 36 in Trenton, 43 in LA. Mind blown. In terms of traffic, here's what we have right now on the East Coast. We start in New Jersey, a utility pole down on routes 1 and 9 southbound at McClellan Street in Newark. That's right by Newark Airport. That's like right near the parking facilities they have near Newark Airport. The right lane and right shoulder are closed. Again, as we mentioned yesterday and all week long, there are parking lot issues right now throughout all of the major airports because this was a big vacation week. A lot of people got away. So if you are intending on heading to any of the major airports, make sure you have a reserved parking space if you're driving there. Otherwise, take an Uber, cab, Lyft, you're fine. But if you're driving, make sure you have a place to park or else you might show up and you'll miss your flight because you have no place to put your car. We look at the New Jersey Turnpike delays now in the Eastern Spur northbound, and that is at exit 16E. And another issue on the opposite side, westbound 15W. No accidents, just volume at this point. The Hudson River crossings, Holland Tunnel has about a 15 to 20-minute crossover time delay. The Lincoln is 25 to 30, GWB upper and lower levels right now. Not bad at all. That is picture perfect. It's only 10 minutes in. Take that if you can. 4 minutes past the hour. Terrifying moments aboard a JetBlue flight that left Newark Liberty International Airport yesterday afternoon, bound for West Palm Beach, Florida. Right after takeoff, Flight 543 encountered engine failure. They immediately had to turn around and get back to Newark in an emergency. Not before smoke started filling the cockpit, though. That is something that pilots are terrified of because if you're in the cockpit and you're full of smoke, the pilots have to live. They have to breathe, right? So what happens? They put on masks and they hope for the best so they could see. Back at the airport, authorities shut down everything for hours, ordering a ground stop to all incoming flights worldwide, diverting to JFK, LaGuardia, any place they could, until this flight was safely back on the ground. Once it did land safely, the JetBlue crew launched the emergency slides. You've seen that on TV. Everybody had to slide down the slides to get off. The fear was that engine that had failed might have had fire in it. So that's one of the most dangerous things. More people die in an incident like that from fire than anything else. So they had to get everybody off that plane. The good news is everyone was safe. One person from all the stress had some chest pains, taken to the hospital, is going to be fine. The FAA is now investigating. The good news is it had a happy ending. Everybody did things as professionals should. The JetBlue crew and Newark International Airport. The only problem was the airport was closed for a few hours, and when it reopened, there were delays till 10. But it's much better to have delays and everybody healthy than, God forbid, the opposite. So nice going JetBlue crew, and nice going the traffic controllers at Newark International. 5 minutes past the hour, tragedy in the Golden State. The deadliest avalanche in America in more than 30 years resulted in the deaths of 8 of the 9 skiers reported missing. The avalanche happened near Lake Tahoe. That 9th skier still missing today. The avalanche was reported near Castle Peak in Nevada County, north of Boreal Mountain Ski Resort on Tuesday. There was a heavy snowstorm. Mike was talking about it here. That was the same storm that in the south in LA caused massive flooding. In the north, it caused massive snow, 6 feet. There's a total of 15 backcountry skiers involved in the avalanche, 6 of those people getting rescued, many hoping the last skier would be found alive. Rescuers say, sadly, though, with all that snow, it's not likely. Anti-regime protesters filled the streets of Iran last night after the White House warned that Iran would be wise, little hint of threat there, to make a deal with the U.S. The two sides recently resumed indirect talks after Trump repeatedly threatened military action over Iran's recent deadly crackdown on protesters. Published reports say the U.S. military would be ready to launch airstrikes as early as this weekend, as 2 massive warships and all their accompanying vessels are now stationed off of Iran's coast, with dozens of smaller vessels, scores of bombers and fighter jets right at the ready. Tehran's top diplomat said that Iran was drafting a framework for future talks. That's BS talk to kill time. Iran is known for making promises it never keeps. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian says the country does not want war, but suggested Tehran can't give in to U.S. demands. Maybe left with no other alternative. U.S. brokered talks in Geneva with Russia and Ukraine ended without a breakthrough on terminating the war there. Some progress was made on military issues, but territorial disputes remain unresolved. Russia insists on keeping control of the Donbas region, which Ukraine rejects. The status of a major nuclear power plant is another sticking point, with Ukraine seeking at least partial control. President Trump wants Ukraine to compromise a little bit, which Ukrainian President Zelensky rejects. An illegal alien killed an innocent Georgia teacher while speeding away from ICE agents in Savannah. Oscar Vasquez Lopez, a Guatemalan national with a 2024 deportation order, was allowed to remain in the U.S. illegally under lax Biden administration enforcement. Police say Lopez crashed into another vehicle after running a stop light, making an illegal U-turn, and that caused the crash, which killed teacher Linda Davis. Now, the latest in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. Investigators are looking into a suspicious search engine query before Nancy Guthrie went missing, in which someone was researching Savannah Guthrie's salary and Nancy Guthrie's address. Curious, right? And investigators have found new DNA evidence in the Guthrie home not belonging to Mrs. Guthrie, but they don't explain what it is. Pima County investigators are pouring through those finds and thousands of other leads more than 2 weeks after the 84-year-old went missing. A suspect seen on doorbell cam video wore a distinctive gun holster, an Ozark Trail backpack from Walmart, and possibly a ring under the gloves, maybe 2 pairs of gloves it looked like. DNA from gloves near Guthrie's home did not match any database entries. That doesn't mean, though, it's not going to be useful if they do find a suspect. Authorities reportedly gave polygraph tests and cleared all family members as suspects as they continue their investigation. 9 minutes past the hour, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is testifying in Los Angeles in a lawsuit claiming social media platforms are addictive and harmful to minors. The now 20-year-old plaintiff, whose alias in the trial is KGM, alleges addiction and mental health harm from early social media use on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. The trial could set precedent for thousands of similar cases. TikTok and Snapchat settled before the trial. Meta denies the allegations, arguing that KGM had pre-existing mental health challenges and that the company supports its young users. 9 minutes past, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band announced the Land of Hope and Dreams American Tour, running March 31st to May 27th. The 20-date tour will span open or major U.S. cities, including Newark and Philadelphia. This is Springsteen's first North American tour since 2024. Hilary Knight proposed to longtime girlfriend Brittany Bow at the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics. Knight is a 4-time medalist playing in the women's hockey gold medal game. Bowe is a 2-time Olympic bronze medalist. The couple met at the 2022 Beijing Games, and they've since been together. Taylor Swift is one of many celebs congratulating the couple. The women inscribed lyrics from Taylor Swift's song The Alchemy inside their rings. Pretty nice. Coming up on 11 minutes past the hour, again, we have a potential for a nor'easter headed this way. Meteorologist Mike Favetta will be back. He has the full forecast for both the Garden State on the East Coast and, of course, on the West Coast. Very chilly in Los Angeles this morning if you haven't gone outside yet. You'll be surprised. It's only 43 degrees in LA. It is 36 degrees in Trenton. Kind of amazing that there's that little a disparity between the two. And when we return, New Jersey high school scholars tell the amazing story of a team of Black soldiers who fought barefoot in the battles of Trenton and Princeton. We'll have that story as well. You won't want to miss that. Plus, we'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato, now live on the East Coast and the West Coast at ONNJ.com East and on LACA.com for the West Coast. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go away.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. It is Thursday, live in New Jersey and New York at ONNJ.com. And now we welcome Los Angeles at ONLACA.com. 15 minutes past the hour, we will take your calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast near you.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
And a very good morning to you, Mike. So this is bizarre. It is almost the same temperature in Trenton as it is in Los Angeles right now, which kind of frightens me. And you're saying that we could potentially see a nor'easter in the Northeast, which is strange.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see a southwester here, I guess.
No, that's something for, the LA area. But we're looking forward to a couple milder days before the snow gets going again by Sunday night. Had a little bit of rain last night, so we'll rewind the weather picture to show you with that wet weather that came through. Some spotty drizzle last night. Most of that winding down today, leaving just clouds in our forecast. Kind of a drizzly period again going into tomorrow. But it's a gray sky that'll be around for much of the afternoon, even into tomorrow. Oh, that's strange. And it's going to start off a little bit on the cloudy side through the rest of the day. Clearly, the weather computer thinks it's going to be dark, but we'll get that fixed. There we go. All right, we'll continue with the rest of the forecast out east over in Europe, where you've seen beautiful weather. If you watched the Olympics last night, I mean, the cobalt blue skies were gorgeous at the venues. That's coming to an end. It's back to the gray sky, the clouds, even some more snow developing this afternoon, up to a foot in many of the mountain locations. The rain returning there in Milan, so a lot of the gray skies coming back there for the outside shots with about an inch of rain falling in the city center. For us, our forecast for the rest of the week points to a little bit of cloud cover throughout Saturday, and then look what happens by Sunday morning. Clouds move in, some showers off to our south, cold enough to support that snow as this storm stays close enough to the coastline to allow for some accumulating snow across New Jersey that lasts into Monday morning and throughout much of the morning on Monday as it's a slow-moving system hugging the coast, working its way off to the north and east, wrapping up by Monday afternoon. So the potential is there for some healthy accumulations, plowable accumulations, but again, this has been back and forth for the last few days, and this is the first time for at least 2 runs in a row for 12 hours straight that we've seen more of a consistent track that keeps it closer to us here along the coast. We'll show you the timeline of this storm and the evolution of it coming up in the next few minutes, Ken.
All right, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, by the way, you know what we missed yesterday, Mike? I don't know what's wrong with us.
What was that?
Yesterday was National Wine Day. I mean,
Oh,
really?
that's a
How
good
the
one.
hell did that happen? With the names Rosato and Favetta? That's like mortal sin. Of course, it was Ash Wednesday. We talked about that,
Right.
which is good. So at least we'll earn our place in heaven somewhere, I guess, along the way that way. But we forgot the National Wine Day. Jesus did embrace his wine, you know. Just saying.
Uh-huh.
All right, we'll talk. We'll have to make up for it in the next week. We'll do
Big
something
Oino
nice.
files here. Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, mister. Thank you very much. It is 37 degrees right now, northern New Jersey, 36 degrees in Trenton, 43 degrees Los Angeles, where it's mostly cloudy. Don't usually say that, even though it's 4:17 in the morning there. Do have some traffic to tell you about. Right now on the Garden State Parkway, we have a crash northbound, north of the Toms River Toll Plaza in Toms River. All lanes are open, causing a little bit of a delay through there, though. At this early hour, it's not too bad. We have a utility pole down right now on Route 1 and 9. That's southbound at McClellan Street, Newark, right by Newark Airport. So this is the Raymond Boulevard exit. This is about a half a mile away from McClellan. So this is a little closer to downtown Newark we're looking at here, but closer to the airport, which is just behind that. You can see kind of the long stretch of traffic. That's where the McClellan Street crash is causing this the delay you see on the highway there on 1 and 9. We have issues at the area airports in terms of long-term parking. If you are destined to get out of town and you are driving to any of the 3 major Northeast airports in New York, New Jersey, Newark, JFK, LaGuardia, all of those airports, because this is a big travel week, their parking lots are at 95 to 100% capacity. So make sure you have a reserved parking space, or else you'll show up to try to make your flight, go to park, no place to park, you miss your flight, you have nowhere with the car, you end up driving home, you ruin your day. So just go online before you head to those airports. If you're driving, reserve a spot before you head out, and you'll be fine. You won't be shocked then when you get there, right? Looking at the Hudson River right now, Holland Tunnel is only 20 minutes in. The Lincoln Tunnel is 20 as well. GWB upper and lower is actually your best bet. This is actually flowing at 10 minutes in, upper and lower, upper on the right, lower on the left. We go over to the West Coast right now. We have a hit and run, no injuries though. This is on Britannia Street at East Cesar E. Chavez Avenue, and that's in central LA. We have a report of a fire on the roadway at the 405 at the 105 where they intersect in West LA. Three traffic collisions. One in West Valley, that's at the 118 Balboa Boulevard on-ramp. Another in South LA at 304 East 135th Street. And we got a collision just reported in central LA at the 101 where it meets Sunset Boulevard. It is 19 minutes past the hour as our nation prepares to mark the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution. A New Jersey student-led exhibition is shining a light on stories that have been left out of the history books. Foundation Academies, in partnership with the Princeton Battlefield Society, is unveiling Men Without Shoes, a multimedia exhibit that sheds light on the lives of 14 Black soldiers who fought in the battles of Trenton and Princeton, many of whom marched barefoot. Can you imagine through the bad weather in woods over rocks, barefoot, carrying weapons and equipment? 30 high school scholars worked on the project that opens today at Morven Museum and Garden on Stockton Street in Princeton. Earl Wallace and Casey Scott are two of the advisors who guided the students behind this incredible work. Earl and Casey, we say good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
Nice to have you both on. This story is amazing. The more I read about this last night, the more mind blown I was, and the more embarrassed I was that this isn't being taught universally in our schools. So please, let's start with Earl if we can. Earl, tell us about the realities that these soldiers faced.
It was, very harsh realities. These soldiers, some were slaves, some were free. They were fighting for a dual reason, some for their freedom, and some for the country. But, it was definitely a joy to get this project. The students loved it. We all gained a bunch of information and walked away with a lot more than we can bite off.
I'm sorry to step on you, Earl. Didn't some of those soldiers fight because they were slaves? Did some of them fight on behalf? That's
Absolutely.
Unreal. So
Absolutely.
so you're either going to get killed or go back and be brutalized. That's your
Right.
option. It is amazing that these people, it's an indicator of the incredible souls that these people had. That's why, as I read that, I thought, did I read this correctly? That was their option. When we complain if our foot hurts in the morning, that's what they had to deal with. I mean, seriously, we complain
Right.
about the tiniest things today. Casey, why have these soldiers' stories been so downplayed until now? This is a series of movies. This should be.
Yes, I agree. I think it needs to be in textbooks. It needs to be in movies. It needs to be everywhere. And I think more importantly is because our history are being erased, especially during this time. So Black history has always been told by other people. So it's a great opportunity to have this project be told by Black students in a time where we're celebrating 100 years of Black history, in a time that we're talking about 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. So for me and for my students, this is more than just a project. It's part of our history. It's our legacy. It's who we are. It's what shows up every day for us. And it's a great opportunity to have students be the storytellers, the researchers, the historians in a time where we're being erased. So they're trying to tell everyone that this is history, this is Black history, and Black history is American history.
Amen to that. But you took the words out of my mouth. That is the United States. It makes you, that we wouldn't have the country we have today if not. All the greatness, the fact that we're no matter all the warts we have, and we have tons of them, we're still the greatest country in the world. And it is primarily because of the great contributions we have from Black Americans, Blacks who were very much more American than anyone else at the time for all that they went through. And I don't mean to sound like I'm preaching on it, but just because of all the years I've had to cover it and learn about it, the beauty of it is that America learned from its sins to some extent. At least it's being taught, but just clearly not enough. Earl, what makes the project especially unique is that, of course, as you're talking about this, it was led by high school students. So talk about how these students learned and grew into the project and what it was like for them to keep learning how great these people were.
Yeah. So, obviously the beauty of it is because we were doing it with our students. Full transparency, the hurdle was teaching the students how to do the research. When we came up, we understood how to go to the library, and how to do adequate research. With our students today, if it's not on the computer or if it's not at their fingertips, they're kind of lost. So that was a battle in itself. But then what we ended up doing is I ended up putting all of the students in a group, divvied them up. So every student had a soldier. And then we went to the state archive. We we had to actually do some research outside of the state because only 3 soldiers were from New Jersey. The rest of the soldiers spanned from Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. We also did some internet research, reaching out to different, looking at pension reports. So it was pretty extensive. Took about a year to do.
Wow. I mean, just thinking of how long it took to get from where they were to Princeton to do the battle. It takes us a couple hours to drive whatever, and we think, wow, that was a long drive. Again, we're just so coddled. These people walked. They walked hundreds of miles with equipment, and in this case, in many cases, barefoot. It's just crazy. It's almost not believable because we would complain, oh, my shoe has a bump in it. We're such soft people as a society today, and what these people did. And we're heroes in the process. And the exhibit blends history, of course, with modern technology. You just talk about that. You're going to have AI generated monologues written by students. Can you please get into that? Because that sounds fascinating.
Yeah, so most of we didn't have many pictures. We actually only had one picture of a descendant that we found. So we, based off of historical context, we use AI to reimagine what the soldiers might look like. Also with Miss Casey, because she liked to take things over the top and I kind of just followed directions. She wanted to find a way to bring these soldiers to life. So we said, what other better way to do that than to turn it into a documentary? So we said, okay, the students are proficient in AI. I'm prehistoric as it comes to that. So we found we found a app called VO3 where we're able to take those still pictures and actually turn them into animations. So we took all of the information that we found over the course of the year. We turned that into prompts and told the story using that AI app.
Casey, what kind of reaction did you see? First of all, I like the way Earl said that because that's a man who'll be long term with a good wife, knowing when to acquiesce. Right? That's a good man right there. But this sounds so exciting. If I was a student in this, I mean, I'm glowing right now thinking of all these elements. Those students probably approached this as exciting as if they were doing, like they were almost playing. And I don't mean that with disrespect. It's like I would wake up eager to get back into the research. And I bet the students were like that.
Yes. So they were excited. I think with anything of a history project, when you hear history project in schools, you're already like, but then as they got to learn and as they got to play with different media aspects, so we use Midjourney to recreate the images, and we have VO3 to actually put them in animation. From just researching to going to the archives, it became exciting because they also realized this is my history. So when you start to be connected to the work and you start to understand that this is really the reason why we have all these opportunities, it becomes a different light. So a lot of our students are honestly interested in learning about their own history as well as mine. So it's been a great opportunity to see them thrive and see them be a part of something where they are authors of their own history. So it's been an exciting experience. Part of our exhibition is showing out the behind the scenes. So you actually get to hear our students throughout the process, their feelings and emotions as they go through becoming historians, researchers, and ultimately authors.
Now, you probably helped produce a team of great Americans now proud of the history of this country because they know that they were part of it. That's just amazing. Tell us the website so people can get more information.
So you can check www.foundationacademy.org. That is where all our information will be for the exhibition. And then we're hoping to be in a city near you so you can see it in person.
That's cool. Make it a roving expedition so that people can come everywhere. It's called Men Without Shoes, open to the public. It's 5 to 7 tonight, right? And 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday. Morven Museum and Garden, which is beautiful, at Stockton Street in Princeton. Earl Wallace, Casey Scott, thank you for doing what you did. This is awesome. And thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Oh man, that is just awesome history. 29 minutes past the hour. We're going to talk about the FIFA World Cup coming to New Jersey. Coming up next. Don't go away.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Good morning. It's 30 minutes past the hour, Thursday, February 19th, 2026. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato, live on the East Coast and the West Coast. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast near you.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, Mike, I did fail to mention today is National Iwo Jima Day, for that massive moment in our American history for all the soldiers and all the fighters for America who helped us win that incredible battle. So National Iwo Jima Day today. Remember the great vets who fought for our country. Also
That's
remember
right.
the nor'easter headed this way.
There is one on Monday, yeah, one that'll give us a little bit of rain and snow beginning later Sunday night. We'll show you where the storm is currently sitting as it's just entering the Pacific Northwest right now. So all of that rain you see out by San Francisco, that is the energy that will develop our nor'easter later on this week into the weekend. Quickly head over to Italy, where the clear sky from yesterday, which allowed for beautiful conditions, is giving way to some snow by tomorrow, and then it clears out again for Friday into the weekend. A lot of big games coming up, especially with those the end of the competitions ending by Sunday. Big warm up there toward the city center in Milan, could be near 60 by tomorrow, so a big warm up ahead for them. Our forecast keeps it cooler, not necessarily freezing cold, so you've seen a lot of the snow melt. It looks a little bit drier going into the next few days, but this system that working off to the west, you can see it here, entering the west coast, then works across the south, develops there just in the Gulf, north of the Gulf, in the mid-Atlantic, south, deep south, and then works its way up the coast and provides that energy for our nor'easter by the time we get to Sunday night into Monday. How much snow will fall? Still too early to tell because it's all track dependent, but at least a lot of the latest information shows that the storm staying close enough to shore to provide a little bit of that extra snowfall going into Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, and then even into Monday morning. The details, I think, will be fine-tuned into tomorrow, especially because there's now growing consensus that a storm will form close enough to shore, so the accumulations are really the next step to follow. We'll talk more about that big rain coming in for California in our next weather update.
All right, Mike, thank you, sir. It is 36 degrees in northern New Jersey, 36 in Trenton, 35 now in Cape May. On the West Coast, Los Angeles is 43. It's 45 degrees in San Diego. Taking a look at traffic right now, and we have Garden State Parkway crash northbound north of the Toms River Toll Plaza. All lanes are open. Look at that. That is the crash. We saw this. We thought, oh, there must be delays. Nope. Everybody's just like yawn, just a crash. But just letting you know that because it could build as people keep waking up and getting to work. So that's just in the Toms River area. We have a utility pole down 1 and 9 southbound McClellan Street in Newark. That's right near the airport where that's actually by Budweiser. Why do I know that? Don't ask. But right by Budweiser, it's where people get off. Usually all the parking facilities are there for people going to the airport. Just beware of the crash there, causing a little bit of a backup. Let's go over, if we can, to what was the next one you had there, Pam? You had 17, right? We have delays on 17 by Route 4. Look at that. And this is just strictly volume. But just give yourselves extra travel time because that's only going about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Your Hudson River crossings right now, Lincoln and Holland, are about 20 to 25 apiece. The GWB is great. It's only 10 to 15, upper and lower level. Something strange is going on in Paradise, folks, because usually this is bumper to bumper. And every day this week, it's really been a pleasure to report on the George Washington Bridge. We go over to the West Coast right now. And in Baldwin Park, there is what's being described as a traffic hazard, and that's at Route 57 and Covina Boulevard. We have a traffic collision in Baldwin Park, also on I-10, or the 10 as it's called, at Fairplex. Another traffic collision now in West Valley, and that's at the 118 and Balboa Boulevard on-ramp, and a collision in Central LA. That's on the 101 at West Sunset Boulevard. 36 minutes past the hour. New Jersey is preparing to take center stage on the world scene this year with the FIFA World Cup set to be played at MetLife Stadium. Add to that the nation's 250th anniversary celebrations and other large-scale public events, and security experts say planning is already well underway to keep millions of people safe. Greg Sanfilippo is a former U.S. Marine, former NYPD officer specializing in intelligence and counterterrorism, and now serves as the vice president of Doyle Security Services. We say good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Ken.
Hey, I'm sure I don't know if you heard as I was talking about National Iwo Jima Day, and I referred to the soldiers, and my dad is a Marine, so I bet you bristled being a former Marine, like, dude, there were no soldiers there. It was U.S. Marines, USMC, baby. So I apologize for referencing the soldiers. I meant to say the Marines at Iwo Jima, something that I bet you to our
No
director.
apologies necessary.
Thank
Plenty
you,
of
but thank you.
plenty of soldiers in the Pacific Theater, but we appreciate the
Amen.
distinction. Semper Fi to
You
your
bet.
dad.
You bet. I respect and honor you and your service, sir, and I thank you for it. Let's talk about the FIFA World Cup from a security standpoint. How significant is an event that huge for Northern New Jersey?
Not only for Northern New Jersey, Ken, but for the entire country. So picture 78 Super Bowls between June 11th and July 19th. And that's really what it is when you look at these national level teams traveling in with thousands of fans. And for every team that's involved, this is a Super Bowl, and for all the security professionals protecting it and law enforcement and all first responders, this is our Super Bowl.
Amazing. So yeah, I didn't even think of it that way. For each team participating, they will bring a cadre of their fans by the thousands. And these are people from all over the world, some countries friendlier than others with us. So that must raise the level of concern significantly for security people in the United States. Talk about the kind of coordination that has to happen between federal, state, and local agencies, and even internationally.
Yeah, that coordination, as you mentioned, has already started. It actually started last year. If you remember, it was the FIFA Club Cup. So what they did was they brought in soccer teams from different leagues, right? Different club teams from around the world, and this was kind of a trial run at it. And so that those, that a blanket quilt, if you will, of all the pieces coming into play. We had a chance to run through that last year, but on a smaller scale, because this is you mentioned fans coming in, and just to give this scale, when they talk about World Cup watch parties, we're not talking about a couple of friends, gathering 20 people at your house to watch the Super Bowl. We're talking about thousands of people that come in and watch. So when you look at Liberty State Park, for example, is going to be a watch party area where that whole park is going to be really assumed by fans watching that, and a lot of fan events going on in New York City.
So if you're in law enforcement in New Jersey and New York, and it's for the weeks leading up to, and even maybe a week post, we're talking an all hands on deck, right? This is everybody. Don't plan a vacation day. You're all going to be working in some capacity, even if you're doing the street work, so that other people could be working around the stadium. I'm guessing that's the case.
Absolutely 100% between New Jersey State Police, which is leading the coordination on the New Jersey side, working closely with NYPD and all the other agencies. This is 100% all hands on deck for that month. And then you layer in, we still need to do police work. You still need to respond to 911 calls. So it's going to be an excite for those that are getting bored because we are stuck in the houses with all the snow. Come June and July, it's going to be an exciting time, law enforcement and the public, right? Because you have the World Cup going on. You mentioned the 250th anniversary of the country, so when you look at those Macy's Days Parade, Macy's fireworks, and then you also throw in Fleet Week, which are going to be basically combined around this time, and then you throw in the 25th anniversary of 9/11 all going on at the same time.
No, there's a good test. There's a good test of the forces. Um, I'm guessing, and I'm just a layperson here. My dad was a police officer after he was a Marine too, but I'm guessing that just from having to talk to him over the years, and he's 95 and still kicking strong, thank God. I know that he would talk about the kind of planning that this entails. So I'm sure when we got the cup, that's when people started looking at maps and saying, all right, you have the stadium here, you have these hotels, you have these businesses. Everything has to be looked at, right? Roadways, emergency places, hospitals in the event of an emergency, having teams, mobile teams in case. I mean, this must go on and on and on. I'm guessing there were drills, et cetera, to make sure everybody was up to speed.
Absolutely, Ken. So you look at it in a number of groups, working groups that were built out last year, and tremendous support from FIFA. So you have all those different working groups on every little thing that you mentioned. In particular, you highlighted that public-private partnership. So now my new role in private security, there's still working groups on how first responders can keep people safe and working with the private sector that owns a lot of the spaces that we're talking about for a lot of these watch parties.
Hmm. And what is the website, Greg, for companies to get more information about Doyle?
It's at doylesecurityservices.com, DOYLE.
Perfect. Vice President of Doyle Security Services, Greg Sanfilippo, thank you for coming on this morning. Let's pray for everything going nice and safely this summer. We appreciate you.
My pleasure, Ken.
Thank you, Greg. 43 minutes past the hour. When we come back, ever want to run away and join a circus? Now may be your chance. We're coming right back.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. 45 minutes past the hour, taking calls at 888-658-0234, 888-658-0234. Nor'easter heading to the northeast and a little damp weather in the southwest. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast for your city.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, Mike, a very good morning to you, sir. And 45 minutes past the hour, we're looking at something going on this weekend throughout the Northeast.
That's right. And it's already entering the West Coast. That's where our storm is coming from. That'll hit New Jersey by Sunday night into Monday, currently delivering heavy rains up and down the Florida coast. You can see as far north as San Jose. That's the southern extent of the storm. Yet there are more showers on tap for those in Southern California after what was a week of rain. Look at how the clouds moving in right now and then some showers shortly behind it. So yeah, it gets very wet over the next few days. Have to wait until later on this weekend to enjoy some more sunshine. So that's the system that will give us the snow in the Northeast, moves its way across the country. And then what's left for the rest of the weekend here in Southern California are mostly cloudy skies with another round of showers by Saturday night going into Sunday. I think Sunday eventually clears out by the afternoon, but it's going to take some time, especially with all of those waves of moisture moving on there for the next several days. So arriving to the east, you see the system getting going. This is not it. It's actually coming in later on Saturday. And there's our rain for Friday. That's the first system we have to get through first, the wet weather. Then as we head into the weekend, later Saturday into Sunday, it starts to move up the coast and develop all of this precipitation just offshore. You can see the spin there of just how potent it'll be. This one high-resolution model has it a little further east, whereas a lot of the global ones put it further west, giving us some snow through Monday morning. So still a little bit of a disparity as to the overall position. However, the growing consensus is there that it's taking more of a coastal track, leading to some more snow potential. Beyond that, for the first week of March, a lot of warm weather headed across the country and higher than average rain chances as well. That'll move eastward as we take it into March 1st. So a little bit of wetter weather, a little bit of warmer weather once we get beyond the cold snap this weekend. We'll tell you all about it coming up with the New Jersey 7-Day in just a few minutes, Ken.
All right, Mike, thank you very much, sir. We currently have 36 degrees Trenton. It's 35 degrees northern New Jersey, on Los Angeles, on the West Coast, I should say, 43 degrees, 44 degrees in San Diego, just south of there, about an hour and a half. For those who have never been, it's a beautiful little drive. We take a look at traffic down in the area. Let's go to the Garden State Parkway right now in the Northeast, and we start with a crash. That is southbound on the Garden State, north of exit 136 Stiles Street in Cranford. 2 center lanes blocked. That's causing what you see on your screen. That's about a mile right before the accident scene. So just be aware of that. We have issues we've had all morning. Utility pole down on routes 1 and 9, southbound McClellan Street in Newark. That's right by Newark Airport, by the big Budweiser plant. The right lane and right shoulder are both closed. That's causing delays for anybody trying to get to the airport. So please give yourselves extra travel time through there. Kind of hard to see on that shot. It's about half a mile or so from where it's happening. But there you have it. We have some delays, too, on the Turnpike Inner Roadway, northbound exiting interchange 14, which is I-78 in Newark. That's simply due to volume at this point. If you're headed to one of the 3 major area airports, if you're driving there to catch a flight, understand that most of the parking lots are at 95 to 100% capacity because this is a big travel week. We had a long weekend. Monday was President's Day, so a lot of kids were off from school. Parents took them and went on vacation. If you are driving to the airports, make sure you have a reserved parking space, or else you're going to get there, have no place to park, and miss your flight. So make sure you do that. Let's go over to the Hudson River crossings. Lincoln and Holland are now 25 minutes apiece. GWB upper and lower levels moving pretty well. Have been all morning. Look at that. No delays to report. They're going to get you in about 10 minutes. That's a good way to do it. We go over to the West Coast now in Los Angeles, Baldwin Park. There's a traffic hazard on the 10 at the 605. We have a traffic collision now reported in Baldwin Park at the 10 in Fairplex. Another one at Balboa Boulevard on-ramp at the 118, and one on 304 East 135th. That is in South LA. We have another issue now. This is a wind advisory, and that's happening in Newhall at the I-5 and South State Route 138. 50 minutes past the hour, families across New Jersey will soon have a chance to step right under the big top at a circus with decades of history, bringing its newest tour to our area. Circus Vasquez is launching its 2026 national tour with Garden State stops in Paramus at Westfield Garden State Plaza from February 20th through March 9th, and in Lawrenceville, a little further to the center of the state at Quaker Bridge Mall from March 13th through the 23rd. Alexa Vasquez is a spokesperson for Circus Vasquez and a fourth generation performer. Welcome, Alexa. Good to have you on.
Thank you for having us, and we're really, really excited to be here. And we're in Garden State Plaza. We're starting this Friday, and with a whole different season and something that's for the entire family. With this cold weather that's setting in and everything, I think it's a spectacular event to come and see the show. It's going to be very warm inside the tent, so it's going to be a very
Yes.
good chance to come and see it.
And it's such a different, because the whole circus idea kind of waned a little bit for a few years. I had friends who used to be with the Big Apple Circus back in the day, and then that disappeared and it kind of came back. Circus living is very difficult. And I mean, you know more about it than anybody because you were living on the road. My friends used to live literally on a train car. They
Oh,
had bunks, they were brothers. They used to live in a train car and they had everything in their whole universe was in a box, and that's how they lived. And they came from a upper middle class family in New Jersey, but they literally ran away and joined the circus when they were teens,
that's the
fell in love, and they're
best.
still doing it. So you talk about what that life is like. I'd love to hear it from you.
I mean, it's a family generational thing. I've been seeing it since my grandparents and then my parents and my uncles. It's a family tradition that we like to keep upholding, and it's something that's very common to hear that we used to live in trucks and we used to live in like the Ringling Brothers and all the stuff that you were mentioning. But nowadays we have RVs that are like, for example, the ones that I'm inside now. We have like little apartments. It's the best thing in the world. You still get to travel and do the whole thing about circus traditional, but something that is very modernized. And as well as that goes up to show, it used to be very traditional trapeze artists, very traditional clowns. Now we modernize with new technology where the weather outside may be very cold, but inside the
Uh-huh.
tent is very warm. So it's something that we like to keep the traditional part of the circus alive, but at the same time, every day be better and modernize the show.
That is so cool. And it's 50 years old. Your family's been doing this from day one. And the circus has deep roots in Mexico. I love the fact that this is still run by your family today. So it must mean something
Mhm.
very special knowing that is your name up there. This is your family performing. So are the performers literally your cousins, your uncles, your aunts who are out there?
That's a question that everybody always asks. No, we don't have the family all the time on the stage for this year. We always try to keep one or two family members on the stage. We are 15 cousins, so imagine if we put all of them, we run the show, right? So we have to
Right.
keep either one or two of us. This year is gonna be me on the stage. You're gonna catch me doing the hula hoops. But apart from me, we don't have anybody else on the stage. But we do have artists from different parts of the world. We come from everywhere. We have South Africa, Paris, Germany, Italy. So we have performers that are not part of our family, but become part of our family by the end of the season because we do have to travel 11 months out of the year together. So that becomes a family by the end.
Yeah, that is a big deal. And you kick off
Yeah.
the 2026 tour right here in New Jersey, stops in Paramus and in Lawrenceville. Was there a specific mindset to picking those two communities, or is it just because one is way up in the north near New York and one is closer to Philadelphia?
No, it is because we love the audience here. Every year that we start the season, either with our sister show that's Flip Circus, we started here in Garden State Plaza in Paramus, and I think we love the audience. I don't think we do love the audience as a performer. I'm very happy whenever I get to perform here because the people are very excited. They're happy to see us, so we are just happy to start the season here.
Yeah, the New York area is a little different from the rest of the universe, right? Hey, look at the circus over there. These guys are pretty good. But the cool thing, if people haven't been to a circus, you talk about the tent. Everything is in the round. You have nowhere to hide, right? Literally, you look around and there's everything. Whereas, like if you were in a traditional theater, you have the front,
Yeah.
then there's back of house. But a circus, it's all right in front of you. So for someone who's never been, it's quite a different thing to see, right?
And also, it's a 360 view, so there's not a bad seat in the house. I always like to say that whatever you seat at the front, at the back, and in the middle, you're gonna get a perfect seat. And this year, our clown, he makes me laugh nonstop. Rehearsals have been going on since Monday, and I keep laughing like very loud. And this year, the clown interacts a lot with the audience. He's not a scary clown for those people that are scared of clowns. He's a very, very nice one, but he'll make you like a part of the show. So I think that's a part that's really cool, that if you never come to see a show, if you're scared or maybe you think, oh, circus is for kids, actually circus is for everybody. It's from the 1 year old to the 99. So just come and enjoy it.
I have had more fun as an adult at various circuses. I've probably been to over a dozen in my life, and every one of them is a little different and is just fascinating. You have to go. So you
Oh.
guys, you combine what, classic circus acts and modern tech, a lot of technology. Talk about that.
We did that a couple years ago. We started switching from traditional circus to a little bit more modernized, bringing in LED screens, bringing in a little bit of the traditional circus, but adding the twist of modernity, because you can't keep doing the same thing. People are going to catch on to it and they're like, oh, I saw that last year. So we're going to have to switch up either the acts, because we always do that. Every year the season is very different. So what you saw last year, you're not going to see this year. We bring acts from different parts of the world, like I said, and we do bring them. Right now, there's acts still traveling all the way from Paris, all the way to come to here, to Pyramus, New Jersey, to perform for you guys. The seating as well is very, very comfortable. I know it's like, for example, a movie theater. So you come in and you just sit down and relax. So just don't expect that you're going to be cold. Don't expect that you're going to be, just expect the unexpected when
Comfort.
you come and see this show.
Expect
It's going to be
comfort and
really
fun.
nice.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a nice
Exactly,
time.
yes.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
What is a
Yes.
website so people can get tickets or more information?
Circusvasquez.com, and that's a way for you to find where the circus is located exactly, because I do know I get
Very
lost
good.
very well inside the mall. So just come in and go to circusvasquez.com. You're going to see where we're located. You can purchase your tickets there, and there's a found discount as well. So it's a win-win.
Nice. And for those who don't know how to spell, it's because it's a lot of people say, "Is that Vasquez?" Yeah, it's
Oh
spelled
my
like that.
God.
Vazquez, Circus Vazquez,
Yes.
Vasquez, but it's pronounced Vasquez, which means your family at some point came from the Basque region of Spain. Launching the 2026
Yes.
national tour with Garden State stops in Paramus at Westfield Garden State Plaza, February 20th through March 9th, and in Lawrenceville at Quaker Bridge Mall from March 13th through the 23rd. Alexa Vasquez, a pleasure meeting you. Have a great time with
Oh,
your family, and
likewise.
we will come out and see you. Thanks for coming on this
Thank
morning.
you. We'll hope to see you soon. Thank you.
You bet. 58 minutes past the hour. For those of you on the West Coast on LACA, now goes to your local news. If you're watching on New Jersey, we'll be back with live local New Jersey news, opinion, weather, and traffic. Thanks for watching Mornings with Ken Rosato.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. Thursday, February 19th, 2026. Welcome to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato taking calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. Patchy fog this morning, clouds today, highs near 40. We head to meteorologist Mike Favetta with a check of the Garden State forecast.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
We knew, Mike, we knew that it was too good to be true, that there had to be nature kicking and screaming as we head toward March,
Sure.
because March is always crazy. They call it Crazy March for a reason. And we're not at
Uh-huh.
March yet, but this weekend will be in the early 20s of February, so we're within a week. So it's sort of a suggestion. What is that? Because we have temperature changes, so you have the clashing warm and cold fronts happening.
And there's more solar irradiance because you have longer daylight hours. So a little more solar energy tends to help fuel these systems, providing the potential for, yes, a little bit of snow, maybe mixing with some rain. There's actually a little bit of ice forecast for you up in Sussex County later on tonight. That winter weather advisory lasts through tomorrow morning, but the rest of the state has this air quality watch through 9 a.m. this morning for poor air quality because the air is pretty stagnant. So you have this inversion that's allowing for the still air to kind of accumulate all those pollutants, especially with the low cloud cover. Overall, temperatures are above freezing. They stayed above freezing overnight, like McKen has been mentioning, around 40 right now, with a little bit of a northeasterly breeze promoting a gusty wind. We're running about 2-3 degrees warmer than yesterday. Had a little light rain last night. Now we're starting the day with mostly cloudy skies again and bringing back those clouds for another day. With temperatures holding in the low 40s through this afternoon, maybe we get a break of sun up in northern New Jersey, but again, it's probably going to be cloudy all through the afternoon, with our highs making it up to 43 at the warmest there in Toms River. Through the rest of today, we keep it cloudy. A little bit of light rain comes in through southern New Jersey, and then there's that little bit of ice for tomorrow morning up in northern New Jersey, specifically north and west of Route 80 and 287, just that corner of the state. That wraps up by the afternoon, leading to a cloudy finish to the day, and then Saturday tries to get a little bit of sunshine in here, but look at the snow that gets going for Sunday. This particular computer model puts a lot of the snow to our west, but again, I could trend a little eastward, giving us that snowfall into Monday morning, and that's certainly possibly going to be the case, especially with a lot of the other weather models hinting at that. So plan on the snow beginning Sunday afternoon into the evening, lasting through Monday morning. Could accumulate to a few inches. We'll talk more about that with your forecast coming up in our next weather update.
All right, Mike. Thank you, sir. We have a temperature now of 36 degrees in Newark. It is 36 degrees as well in northern New Jersey, 35 degrees in Cape May, and 34 degrees in Vineland. We take a look at traffic, and we do have a lot of it on the Garden State. Two different incidents in the same area. So let's check it out. Look at that. So this is first a crash on the Garden State Parkway southbound north of exit 136 Stiles Street, Cranford, with 3 left lanes blocked. That's what you're looking at right here. Just go a mile away from that at exit 137. It's on north of that. And at Route 28, there is a disabled vehicle causing a little bit of an incident. So the people pass that and then come into this. All happening within like a 2-mile stretch on the Garden State Parkway. Just give yourselves extra travel time through there. We have problems at the area airports. Let me explain what this is about. It's not what happened last night. That was Newark Airport being closed. Everything's open. But if you are driving to the airports, a lot of people are off this week. They took the week off because President's Day on Monday, long weekend there. They decided to get out of Dodge. If you're doing that and you're driving to the airports, make sure you have a reserved parking space because most of the airport parking lots are now at max capacity. So it's something to know about. Let's go over to the Lincoln Tunnel approach on 495. You can see there's a lot of traffic building right now, a little bit slow as you make your way to the Helix. It slows down there. The Helix at the very top of the screen by that green sign, that's where it starts to curve around. So right now, making your way into the Lincoln, it's going to cost you 35 minutes into Manhattan. The Holland Tunnel, a little bit better, 25 minutes. GWB is best bet. Look at this, 80, 95, upper and lower levels, upper on the right, lower on the left, wide open. It's only about 10 minutes in. It's a beautiful thing. 8:04 is our time, and terrifying moments aboard a JetBlue flight that left Newark Liberty International Airport yesterday afternoon bound for West Palm Beach. Shortly after takeoff, Flight 543 encountered engine failure and immediately turned back to Newark, but not before smoke started to fill the cockpit. That's right. That is something all pilots fear because they could lose their vision and their ability to control the plane. That is a very scary thing. Back at the airport, when the pilots reported the smoke condition, authorities had to shut down operations for hours. They ordered a ground stop to all incoming flights worldwide until the flight was safely back on the ground. And once it landed safely, the JetBlue crew launched the emergency slides to get everybody off that plane as quickly as possible in case of an engine fire. All they knew was that there was engine failure, but you never know if there's a fire, and sometimes you can't tell from inside the plane. The airport remained closed till 7 p.m. Many flights were delayed until at least 10 p.m. Things seem back to normal this morning. Just check with your airline to make sure everything's flowing okay. One passenger did have to be taken to the hospital with chest pains. Otherwise, everybody else got off the plane safely. The FAA is investigating. Construction of the Gateway Tunnel project will continue now that $200 million of federal funding has been released. The Hudson River Rail Tunnel project had been paused since February 6th after a line of credit expired amid a federal funding freeze. Both New Jersey and New York had sued the federal government, arguing the funding halt violated the Administrative Procedures Act. Courts have not yet ruled on whether the federal government can withhold congressionally approved funding, although Congress had approved about $15 billion for the project. Lawyers for the Justice Department violated about 50 orders for over a 10-week period from an aggressive left-wing anti-Trump judge overseeing an immigration case. Basically, anybody who was ordered removed, the judge came in and said, you can't do that. Can't do that. New Jersey District Court Judge, very far left-wing Michael Farbiars, reportedly said the violations range from missing hearing deadlines to late releases from custody and even the accidental removal to Peru of one person. See, what the judge did, he was throwing wrenches into the works. He just sat there and kept issuing order after order, and that bogged down the system. He did that on purpose, clearly, to try to screw over ICE. But you can't do that. The federal government said, really, Judge? Screw you. And just ignored the orders. What are you going to do, Judge? Come after them? Go ahead, go and arrest ICE. Good luck. In at least 17 instances, ICE transferred a detainee out of New Jersey despite judges issuing a no transfer order, because the judges were doing this on purpose. They were bogging down the system. The order was requiring the detainee to remain in the state. Listen, if you're here illegally, you've already violated the law. What many on the left, especially the judges on the left, are doing is just slowing the system down, basically making it a 5-year process to remove anyone who in 2 seconds walked across the border. It doesn't work that way. The laws aren't set up that way, but the federal judges who are on the left are doing everything they can to make it a difficult process. You know what? 50.1% of Americans voted to eliminate, to kick out, by law, people who are here illegally. You don't like it, change the law. But, this is what we voted for, so let it happen. Judicial experts say most of those orders were made without merit by those judges in violation of the federal authority granted to ICE. It is what it is. 8:08, and police say that alcohol is to blame for a horrible accident in Freehold Friday. A mother and her 2 sons were hit by an SUV while leaving Bloom Academy. This is amazing video. It may be a little disturbing, but everyone is going to be okay, so just know that. Surveillance video shows the youngest son being struck the hardest. Do we have that video, Pam? There's no point in doing the story. The whole point of the story is showing that, so I'm sorry. Let's move on. We have a sinkhole right now. Phillipsburg is under a state of emergency after several sinkholes opened up, swallowing vehicles in the process. This started on Tuesday. A dump truck carrying, we have different video for this. We don't have it? All right, let's pass on that, Pam. Let's go to Mamdani. Mayor Zohran Mamdani's proposed budget would slash 5,000 new NYPD officers. And an additional $11 million from the NYPD budget, while taxing the rich a lot. His ultimatum put Governor Hochul in the crosshairs of both Democrats and Republicans alike, something that could hurt the Dems during an election year. Mamdani is demanding that Governor Hochul and Albany either pass a 2% increase on millionaires, or he would be forced to hit New Yorkers with a near 10% property tax hike to balance the city's budget. The move put Hochul in a tight spot because it's her reelection bid this year. during which she will face Republican Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, who's already come out swinging, pointing out that she is bailing out the city with another $1.5 billion in state funds. Now, Mamdani just unveiled a whopping $127 billion city budget proposal, not state, city budget proposal. That is bigger than the New York State budget. That's crazy. And it's not like 50-50. It's actually 52% of the population is north of New York City. So that would include spending about $2 billion more to help illegal aliens. So he wants to increase property taxes. He wants to increase taxes on the wealthiest few percent at the top of the food chain by like 3%. So if you make $1 million a year, you got to pay an extra 30 grand so that he could give $2 billion extra dollars to people who shouldn't be in the United States at all, because his party and the people on the left decided that they want to give your hard-earned tax dollars to people who aren't citizens here and who really don't have much care for this country. Because I will play for you later video and audio of people who are here who say, screw you, we don't think there's anything special about the United States. We just came here to make a couple of bucks and we're going home. There you go. So just so you know, the state of Florida, the entire budget for the entire state of Florida is $110 billion. And Florida has nearly 3 times the population of the city of New York. Yet he wants $126 billion for the city of New York. Total fiscal irresponsibility. It is unreal how this man got elected mayor. Even Democrats in his party, in the city and in the state, are saying it's a no-go. You cannot hike taxes like this for irresponsibility. He's talking about hiking taxes $12 billion. Unbelievable. And then where does it go next year? This is your first year. Next year, what's it going to be, 20 billion more? It doesn't stop. Other news now, the Diocese of Camden agreed to a $180 million settlement to resolve sexual abuse allegations from roughly 300 survivors. The settlement exceeds some previous large diocesan agreements in the U.S., though was smaller than the largest settlements nationwide. Bishop Joseph Williams called it a milestone in the survivors' journey toward justice and healing. Attorneys praised the diocese's commitment to transparency. More film industry growth in the Garden State. Media entrepreneur Alan Maruvka announced a $250 million film and digital studio campus in Patterson, repurposing the historic Reinhardt building. The studio will feature 21 sound stages and all sorts of new AI stuff. It's going to be very, very cool. And a Cedar Grove pastor was born again, quite literally, after a robotic surgery repaired what is commonly called a widowmaker artery blockage in his heart. 55-year-old pastor Todd Schumpert seemed healthy, but a routine $99 cardiac calcium CT scan showed he had dangerously high plaque buildup and was a severe heart attack risk. Well, he had robotic surgery, and now the good pastor is going to be around to preach many more years. 8:13, when we come back, Newark's jazz scene is alive and swinging this season. We'll explain. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings. We're back in 2.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:15. We are taking your calls at 888-658-0234, 888-658-0234. Patchy fog this morning. And we're going to have some clouds later in the day, highs in the upper 30s to about 40. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta with a Garden State forecast and an upcoming storm this weekend.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, Mike, I didn't like saying those words, but had to. Somebody had to say it, right? So we're talking about a potential nor'easter Sunday night into Monday.
Right, it's been the theme of this winter. Always happens to be a weekend storm, spills over into Monday, and yet there's the potential again for some significant snowfall, especially at the coast, where currently visibility looking a lot better than this time yesterday. Despite the cloud cover that's around this morning, at least you could see more than the dense fog that was around this time yesterday. So we start off with temperatures that are holding in the upper 30s, making it to the low 40s. Won't be a whole lot warmer than yesterday, but at least we stay drier as opposed to the rain that was around on your Wednesday. For the next few days, a little bit of an easterly breeze keeps things feeling damp, but it also keeps it milder. That is until Sunday when that northerly wind takes over and out of the northeast, hence the term nor'easter. That's where the winds come from the north and east, delivering with it a little bit of that snow and a much colder feel. So we wrap up the week with temperatures even feeling right around the freezing mark, with the wind chill gets a little bit colder for Saturday, and then with that northeasterly breeze on Sunday, turns quite chilly with wind chills down in the teens and 20s by the afternoon. So the cold air is in place for the snow to begin falling, but does the snow come close enough to the coast to really make an impact as we head into early Monday morning? That is to be seen. I think that'll show up at least by tomorrow on the weather models. A lot of this mild weather moving in with the clouds, keeping us gray. And then we have a little bit of rain early tomorrow morning. You see that roll in by tonight. Some of that rain could transition to some freezing rain early in the morning, north and west of 287, going into your Friday morning, and then clearing out by Saturday for a decently sunny day. Still not necessarily mild. Notice what happens by Saturday night. Some of that snow could get going and transition to some rain down across the southern part of the state. But again, with most of the energy staying offshore, there's still the potential for this to be a miss. So it's not a lock just yet. A lot of the global weather models, like you see here, show significant snow Sunday night into Monday before it transitions and moves out quickly by Monday afternoon. With it, wind and of course the cold. However, it's still 50-50 at this point because we're still about 3.5 days away for that to get going. So as we head into the weekend, starting off milder, turning colder, still forecasting for some snow on Sunday, but you haven't seen many of the forecast snow amounts out yet by anyone, just because there's still a lot of uncertainty as to if the storm will actually give us more of an impact than advertised. Because I feel like you turn on the TV one day, oh, it's going to snow. The next day, oh, no, it's not snowing. And now we're back to it's going to snow. So it's hard to give a quantifiable number in that case.
You lose credibility at that point. I know that's why you withhold from doing that. I know, what is it, about 48 hours? You really kind of know at that point, right?
I mean, it depends with, how the system's progressing. If we had a trend of every single time there was a weather update, there was more data available that would show a trend of a storm. We don't have that this time. It's kind of back and forth every 6 hours.
All right. Well, I know you'll update our website with onnj.com with weather, and I know you'll keep it updated all weekend long. So I will be looking at that. Thank you so much, Mike. 37 degrees now, northern New Jersey, 36 in Trenton, 35 degrees in Vineland, 36 in Cape May. In terms of traffic, we do have a lot of it. Let's go to the Garden State Parkway. We have problems at 136. Two different issues, actually, to talk about. There is a crash, and that's on the Garden State north of 136 Style Street in Cranford with 3 left lanes blocked. Look at what it's causing here. And then within a mile of that, there is a disabled vehicle, and that is northbound north of exit 137, Route 28 in Cranford. All lanes are open in that case. But this is just about a 2 to 3 mile stretch of the Garden State Parkway. That's an absolute mess. Pam, I'm just going to insert one more accident we have. This just popped up. There's a crash on 78, Route 78, local lanes westbound east of exit 49, which is Springfield Avenue in Union. We'll have that image for you coming up next. Left lane of 3 lanes closed. We go over to 1 and 9 right now. 1 and 9, we have a crash that is actually, it's a utility pull down, not a crash. Southbound McClellan Street in Newark, right lane of 2 lanes and the right shoulder is closed. So if we have 1 and 9, there you go. It doesn't look that much. It's on the right side there toward the top of the screen. It's right at the edge of that image where it starts to build up. Look at the 495, the approach right now to the Helix. At the Lincoln Tunnel. This was just volume. A little earlier, it looked really bad. I don't know if it's as bad right now, but this is approaching the Lincoln Tunnel. So earlier they had a lot of traffic. Yeah, it's starting to move a little bit. It's not so bad right now, but it's going to cost you about 30 minutes into Manhattan via the Lincoln Tunnel. It's only about 25 minutes of the Holland Tunnel. GWB upper and lower levels right now. That's been a pleasure all morning long. We take a look at it, you'll see that there is no traffic. It's only 10 minutes in, upper and lower levels 80-95. One thing we do want to tell you about is NJ Transit, and this is something that's going to be going on until March 15th. Commuters traveling between New York and New Jersey facing major changes. They're reducing rail service. You probably know it already if you take it, by 50%, and that is because they are changing over the century-old Portal Bridge over the Hackensack River to the Portal Bridge North. They have a whole month of testing and shifting tracks and things like that. So in the meantime, it's only 50% capacity. You're going to be jamming on those trains. Just give yourselves extra time and know that that's going to be happening. 21 is our time, and Newark's jazz scene is alive and swinging this season, and you don't need a ticket to be part of it. New Jersey Performing Arts Center, NJ PAC, one of my favorite places. It is so cool. They have a lineup of free performances all across the city, from monthly concert series to live jazz and major signature events like the T.D. James Moody Jazz Festival each fall and the Sarah Vaughan International Jazz Vocal Competition. Let's welcome the Assistant Vice President of Community Engagement for NJ PAC, Aisha Marable. Good morning to you, Aisha. Good to have you on.
Good morning. Good to be here with you.
It's good to have you on. And boy, with that nice joyous greeting from you, God bless you. I love to hear that. Happiness. Newark is such a cool place with a rich history and the best jazz in America. And NJ PAC features some amazing jazz performances. Why is that so important that NJ PAC maintain that tradition?
We're excited at NJ PAC because we know that jazz is more than music. Jazz is medicine for your soul. And we offer these free programs through our jazz jams at Clements Place. Every third Thursday, we offer Jazz Vespers at Bethany Baptist Church in Newark. We have the most amazing jazz for teens that we help create new jazz musicians. And you know what? It is really important to us. We also have our jazz crawls that we do intermittently. Jazz was born from resilience and creativity. And in this season, this reminds us how it is so important for us to listen, to collaborate, and to build community through music. We know that music is a universal language, and we're so excited that we're able to do it each and every day and offer it free in our community.
That price is right. I love that price. One of my favorite words in the whole world. I have to ask you, do you know my friend Mark Ruffin from Jazz 88.3 and Sirius XM? Because he's like one of the kings of jazz music in terms of radio broadcasts. Are you familiar with the name Mark Ruffin?
I know of him. I know of him because we work with. Go ahead.
No, please continue.
Yeah, I know of him because we work with Wayne Winborn at the Institute of Jazz Studies, and we have Greg Burris, who's part of Greg Burris Productions, who always shares the most dynamic, prolific jazz musicians and artisans and advocates of jazz throughout the tri-state area.
Well, I'll tell you how I got to meet Mark and I got to know him over the years. I ended up moving to a building I live part-time in Fort Lauderdale, and I see this really cool guy with gray dreads, calm as to be, just totally chill. And he was in the pool at the building. That's how I met Mark Ruffin. And he says I'm like nervous to approach him because he just looks so cool. And I'm like chubby and out of shape and whatever. And he comes over and says, "Hey, how you doing?" He greeted me and welcomed me. I was new to the building. And I said hello. And he said, "You look familiar." And I had just come from Channel 7 at the time. I just finished Channel 7. And I told him who I was. And I said, "Your voice sounds familiar." He goes, "My name is Mark." And I went, "You're not Mark Ruffin." That's how I met him. The coolest guy. So I know he's at all things jazz related in Newark, although he lives much of the time now in South Florida. The nicest human being ever. And I know his wife is from Montclair. He's great.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. Talk about some of the amazing artists and the styles you're going to have on stage between now and the spring. You have quite the agenda.
Well, actually, I do not have the lineup with me, so my apologies for that. But I encourage you to go to our njpack.org, our website, list all of the musicians that will be there. And we are very excited about the lineup. We take time making sure that we have the best of the best. Christian McBride is our jazz extraordinary jazz liaison and partner. And so we make sure that we have all of his partners. Mark Gross is our director of jazz studies at Arts Education program. So we know that we're going to have the best of the best. But if you want details, please check out njpack.org.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to help you out. I went online. I got your website up right now. I'm going to share right now while you were giving us the
Perfect.
tease. So you got Jazz Jams February 19th through June 18th. You can check that out. Ali Sadiq in the Shadows Tour, February 20th. You got Patricia Buane 20th Anniversary Tour, February 20th. How do you handle two things at once? That's crazy. You got the Divine Nine Agents of Change, February 23rd. I mean, it just goes on and on
On
and
and
on.
on.
This is
We
how
have the most amazing team that makes it happen. We have a great marketing team, a great community engagement team, because we know that arts is well-being, and we have to make it happen not only for ourselves, but for the community. You know, jazz reduces stress and it sparks joy. And so we want to make sure you're part of that joy. Come on down and join us if you can.
Well, it's amazing. I remember there was a time before NJPAC, and we suffered for it. I mean, we had to have little events all over the city of Newark. The fact that NJPAC has just recreated Newark. So it's so exciting that we have this. It's a treasure. It really is a treasure. It's very exciting that we have it. I want to thank you for coming on, Assistant Vice President of Community Engagement for NJPAC, Aisha Marable. You have to come back again. Talk more about these great events. And it's great to have you on this morning. God bless you.
I look forward to being here. Thanks, Ken, and I hope to see you at NJPAC. Take good care.
You definitely will. You too.
Great.
It is 8:28 when we come back. Today is National Lash Day. We will explain. The phone lines are open, taking calls at 888-658-0234. And meteorologist Mike Favetta says a nor'easter may be on the way. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings. We're back in 2 minutes.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Very good morning. It is Thursday, February 19th, 2026, 39 degrees northern New Jersey, 36 degrees in Trenton at 8:30. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Patchy fog this morning, clouds later, and nor'easter possible at the end of the weekend. Highs today near 40. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the detailed Garden State forecast.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, Mike, we talked about the fact that yesterday, of course, being Ash Wednesday, but it was also National Wine Day. Normally, if it's National Donut Day, I have a donut. If it's National Beef Day, I have a steak, whatever. I don't drink. Otherwise, I would have a glass of wine for you right now. But let's pretend my coffee is vino and celebrate the vinophiles in our
But get
audience.
this, right? There are these alcohol-removed wines that are actually
Yes.
quite good.
Yes, they are.
Especially the Prosecco ones, the sparkling ones, you're like, wow, this is actually delicious, and it comes without the price. So little kind of little science for
And
you
being a
on a
dad, and
Thursday
you
morning.
had to you drive a lot, so it's this way you could feel like you're having a good time and not have to worry about having a drink in you
This
when
is
you get
true.
behind the wheel, which you do not want to do ever. So
Never.
anyway,
Nope.
all right,
So,
sir.
well, it's weather this weekend that you may want to grab the extra large cup of hot cocoa because it's going to be cold again. By the time we get to Saturday and to Sunday, say goodbye to the milder conditions that are helping to melt the snow now. Granted, there's a lot of clouds around for today. Maybe we'll break out into a little bit of sun over toward Atlantic City and Egg Harbor City, but with highs climbing into the mid 40s, that continues our melting trend. We're still well below actually right around our average high of 43 degrees. Isn't that nice for a change, considering how it's been so cold? But sunrise happening earlier and earlier now, 6:45 in the morning, sunset after 5:30, as we gain about 3 minutes of daylight per day going into the end of February and early March as we approach the vernal equinox. Looking ahead into the weekend, we see a little bit of rain come back for tomorrow morning. Some of that could be icy up in northern New Jersey. And then once that clears out, we're pretty much dry going into the day on Saturday. But it's the next weather system, our nor'easter, that forms just off to our south and offshore that this particular computer has a little farther off to the east. However, a lot of the global weather models, which kind of more accurately depict where these large-scale systems may wind up on the planet, put it closer to the coast. And I kind of believe that more so in terms of the overall position of the storm versus this one. However, both of them show the intensity of the storm is rather high going into Sunday and Monday. So wherever the storm happens, whether it be out further in the Atlantic or closer to the coast, I still think we'll get a little bit of snow for early Sunday morning, and then that clears out by Monday afternoon with a colder feel next week. It'll actually be our first time back down below the freezing mark in a couple of days, Monday into Tuesday. Better chances for you at the shore to see some snow. That's why it could linger into Monday, and some of the snow icons there appear for Monday. But then going into Tuesday and Wednesday, turning milder by the end of next week, wrapping up February on a milder note. And I think that's how we start off March, a little bit milder as well.
All right, we'll take milder anytime. Thank you, sir. 34 degrees northern New Jersey, 36 degrees in Trenton, 35 in Cape May, and 35 in Vineland. 8:33 is our time. In terms of traffic, we have a lot of it right now to tell you about. Let's go first to I-78. Local lanes westbound east of exit 49, Springfield Ave in Union Township. We have a left lane of 3 lanes closed. Look at the mess. Absolute mess. That's about a 2-mile stretch of bumper to bumper that's causing. Again, I-78 local lanes westbound east of exit 49, which is Springfield Ave in Union Township. Left lane closed, but causing some real backups as you make your way through there. We look over at the Garden State Parkway now. We have 2 issues at exit 136. One is southbound, just north of exit 136, Stiles Street in Cranford, and that is closing down 3 left lanes. Take a look at the delay that you have there. As you just get to the top of the screen, that's the 1-mile point to the crash scene. And then further away, about 1.5 miles in the other direction, there's a disabled vehicle on the Garden State northbound, north of exit 137, Route 28 in Cranford. All lanes are open there. We have a utility pole down now on routes 1 and 9 southbound by McClellan Street in Newark. Right lane and right shoulder are closed, and that happens to be right near Newark Liberty International Airport and the big Budweiser plant where thousands of people go to work. Again, that is the Route 1 and 9, utility pole down by McClellan Street. It's hard to tell here. That's about a mile before that scene. I think a lot of people are avoiding the area right now. We look over at those folks who are taking NJ Transit. NJ Transit, a reminder, is reducing all rail service by more than 50%, and that is because they're replacing the old Portal Bridge, 116-year-old bridge. They're replacing it with the Portal Bridge North, so they have to transfer tracks, etc. So right now, rail service is decreased 50%. All the trains are going to be packed, and there are many trains that are canceled. So just make sure you check the app before you head over to NJ Transit trains and give yourselves a lot of extra travel time that way. We look at the Hudson River crossings. The Lincoln and Holland are both reporting 30 minutes across. The GWB is your best bet, 10 minutes. Upper and lower level flowing beautifully. Look at that, no delays at all. Well, it is 8:35, and today is National Lash Day. Lash as in eyelash. That's right. Okay. While that excuse me as I bang the microphone. While that might not be a holiday that everybody has circled on their calendar, it's a big deal in the world of beauty. Deca Lash, D-E-K-A. Deca Lash is a brand known for its customized approach to styling. And the co-founder and CEO of Deca Lash is Jennifer Blair. We say good morning, Jennifer. Look, I got all Italian excited, and I'm using my hands for everything, and I just knocked into the microphone here. All excited about the lashes. Now, Jennifer, I have to tell you, a lot of people don't realize how National Lash Day is a big, big deal. Let me see if I can do this properly live on TV. Let's zoom in. I happen to have some seriously long lashes. What do you think?
You do?
Do I qualify?
Yes, you qualify.
I had
You can make them look even better.
That's a good see that. I had a boss once in television years ago who actually this is when you could do this. Today you'd get sued. He came right into my face and he wiped my eyelashes with his thumb. Ew, right? And he said, "Oh, they're real," because he thought I had mascara on or fake eyelashes. That's gross.
Thought you had a little makeup to enhance them. Yeah.
That's right. So now you're the real deal. You have, tell us about eyelash extensions and what you folks do with Deca Lash.
Yeah, so it's a great day to talk about it because it is National Lash Day, February 19th. It happens every single year. And lashes are really about confidence. It's that one little accessory on your face that really lights you up and makes a difference. So lashes make you feel put together, look put together, even if you really haven't tried.
And it's something that used to be something just for a night out, but you can have good lashes when you're going into work every day too, right? It all depends on the whole look.
Yeah, lashes are really about self-expression, right? When you look at somebody, you notice their smile, their eyes, it lights up the room. So it's an everyday look, and they're customizable. So if you would like to make them soft and subtle for a day at the office, or you can add a little drama if you want to pick it up a little bit for the evening or a night out or a weekend away, they're really customizable for how you want to look and how you want to express yourself.
Now, do you guys do just lash extensions, or do you also have the attachable eyelashes? And you can tell, I think, sometimes if it's not done right? If it's the external attachment, you have to know what you're doing.
Right. So yes, so we do several different things for eyelashes. So we have the lash extensions, which are the one-to-one false eyelashes. So they can add dimension, we can add curl, we can add length. We have lash lifts, which is like a perm for your lashes. So it's a rod. You put your lashes on or the rod on, and it just lifts your lashes up and gives you a curl. So it really opens up your eyes. You can add tint to your lashes. Like you mentioned, your lashes look a little darker already. Some women's lashes are lighter, and you could add a tint to make them pop. So the lash lift and tint is a combo service, or you can do one just by itself without the other. And then we also have other things for eyebrows too. So you can't just do your lashes, right? You also do your eyebrows. So you get that full, complete look all the way around. So we have options for everybody. Like I said, very customizable. And lashes are kind of like fashion. They follow trends. So, we have a nice subtle brown lash as well that gives a natural look with just a little bit of enhancement of your natural lashes, but, just adding a little bit to it. So it's really something for everybody.
I have to ask you, do guys do this too? Because, as a guy, I never even gave a thought. Guys, usually we just throw on a t-shirt and walk out the door. Women take so much time to put every little detail on. But are you seeing guys do this?
Guys do come in for the lash lift and tint, occasionally for extensions, but if they do come in, it's going to be more for the tint, again, to just make your eyes pop. And the lift eyelashes, you want everything kind of upward, right? You want to be lifted up. You want to feel like you're lifted. So that's what the lift does, where it just brings your eyelashes upward. So it just lifts your whole face up. So yes, so guys are getting that done as well.
As I approach 60 years of age, my idea of a lift would be to cut an incision here at my scalp and just pull about 4 feet of skin. That's what I need done at this point. I don't know if you have that much lift there. If you do, please, I'll be in the office.
Well, this is
The beautiful.
a less invasive way to lift. Start off this way. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. The amazing thing is, though, that the way that a great, beautiful eyelash makes the eyes pop. When you look at the before and after, it's such a difference. And this
It
has
is.
been going on for thousands of years, right? This goes back to Egyptian times.
Yeah. I mean, we've been trying to accentuate the eye, like you said, for a long, long time in many ways. There's eyeliner, there's mascara, there's lash extensions. And before lash extensions, it was a lot of strip lashes, cluster lashes. And those lashes aren't as healthy for your natural lashes as what we do with the lash extensions, because the 1-to-1 ratio where we attach one single very, very light, you can't even tell anything's on your eye, to your own natural lash, it just allows your lashes to shed the way they normally would. A lot of people don't realize that you're already shedding lashes 1 to 3 lashes a day. So your lashes are falling out, they're regrowing. And we put those extensions on. So you come in, you get a full set of lashes, and then you come back for refills. So every 2 weeks, because your lashes are shedding, you come back and you get a refill and you have a full set again. So it's a process. It's a maintenance. I kind of, when someone asks like, what's it like? I'm like, kind of like getting your nails done. For a woman, you go and you get your nails done every 3 weeks, and you go in, you get a refill, or you get them redone, and lashes are the same way. So you're always kind of having that look. You just go in and keep that maintenance up. But the time that it saves you in between, less makeup. And for women who don't like to wear a full face of makeup, that's what extensions are good for.
I love it. All right, we got about 10 seconds left. We need your website for everybody to check it out.
Oh, that's easy. It's decalash.com. It's spelled Dekalash. And again, National National Day. We're giving away 20 free full sets. Go to the website.
Just don't lash out at us. She is the co-founder and CEO of Deca Lash. Jennifer Blair, thank you for coming on this morning.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
We're coming right back. Don't go away.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:45. We'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. By the way, we're live streaming behind the scenes also on TikTok right now. So if you want to go to my page on TikTok, and we also have an On New Jersey page on TikTok, you can see the show streaming there. We have patchy fog this morning and clouds today, highs near 40. Right to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State forecast.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
So we're doing the behind the scenes on the TikTok right now, Mike, and it's amazing how quickly
cool.
the algorithm is very different on the TikTok than it is on. I love to say that.
Yes, it
Than
is.
it is on the other platforms, without mentioning the others. So we're up to a couple of thousand viewers right now, live behind the scenes, watching me talking when you're doing your forecast. So there you have it.
Wow. All right. Well, whether you get okay, I got a lecture yesterday from my barber who was saying why, when he looks at his app with the weather, his phone says that there was going to be 6 to 12 inches of snow on Sunday night. And then he checked it yesterday and it said 3 inches of snow. And I was explaining, well, this is why you have people like me who keep their jobs to explain that you're just looking at a computer spitting out random data that's not verified by anything. It's, and I use the analogy of going on condition and coming back with the worst possible scenario as the first thing. Not necessarily the case. And while there's a lot of weather to talk about, we want to focus on that snow. We have had a lot of snow, but it hasn't all melted yet, which is why we're technically still in a little bit of a rainfall deficit. So while the ground is wet, you see a lot of muddy spots. We could use a little bit more rain, and there is some more wet weather coming into tomorrow, which would follow the trend going into the first week of March with that milder weather on the way as well after this cold snap this weekend. So as far as the cold weather that's around for today, it's not terribly chilly, but it's seasonably chilly. The temperatures will rise into the upper 40s today with a little bit of cloud cover in the fog. But it's tomorrow rain that returns, way too warm to snow. Then as we head into the weekend, the cold air returns, but will the snow be positioned over New Jersey to give us an accumulation? We don't know yet because a lot of the global models keep flipping this storm out to sea, then putting it back to the coast. There hasn't been this consistent trend that keeps it close to the coast. Nevertheless, we still have the snow chances, especially down the shore through Monday, before a little bit cooler weather comes in by the early part of next week, only to warm, Ken, by late next week.
All right, late next week is where we're looking forward to then. Let's look right past Sunday and Monday into Thursday. How about that? That's the goal. We appreciate you, Mike. Have a wonderful day. Good weekend, sir. Nice to work with you today, as always. 38 degrees right now in northern New Jersey. It's 36 degrees in Trenton, 36 in Cape May as well. And we look at our traffic. Let's go over to I-78. We have an absolute mess with a crash. I-78, look at that. It just stopped. I-78 local lanes westbound east of exit 49, Route 124, Springfield Ave and Union Township. The left lane of 3 lanes are closed, but everybody's stopping to take a look. And this is not budging. We're talking bumper to bumper. So if you know of a loved one or somebody coming to your office who's coming via I-78 in that area, Springfield, just anticipate they will be late because of this crash. Again, this is impacting. Is that? We're on the upper left, Pam? Oh, I see. Okay, so Pam, our director, is saying it looks like that truck, if you go toward the upper right corner, it looks like that is involved in the accident because that has not moved. So everybody's trying to get around that. Oh, and here come the police. There we go. Look at that. Let's hold on this for a second. Is that just police or is that an ambulance as well? I think that's just police. All right, so we're seeing it live happening there on camera. Interesting how that works. Love that. Thank you for that. So obviously the left lane is the incident. We see police, and I don't see a tow yet. So the crash is definitely impacting that truck that you see in the as you curve toward the upper right, toward the very top. That truck there is involved in the crash clearly. So again, that's I-78 local lanes east of exit 49, Springfield Ave, Union Township, with the left lane closed. Disabled vehicle on the Garden State. The earlier crash cleared up by Stiles Street. Now that disabled vehicle not really causing any harm. It's off to the shoulder. JFK and the other airports, all their parking lots are at 95 to 100% capacity. So if you are driving to an airport to fly out of town, make sure you have a reserved parking space or you might get there, not be able to park, and then you'll miss your flight. Don't do that. We have a utility pole down on 1 and 9 southbound at McClellan Street in Newark. The right lane of 2 lanes and the right shoulder closed. And don't forget, we have issues in NJ Transit, the Portal Bridge being replaced over the Hackensack River, and you have the trains reduced by 50%. People are jamming on. You have people waiting an extra half hour to get a train. So just pack your patience and give yourself extra travel time if you use NJ Transit trains to make it to work. This is happening through March 15th. After that, when they have the new Portal Bridge North open, things will be a hell of a lot better. Look at our Hudson River crossings right now. Lincoln and Holland, 20 minutes across. GWB upper and lower level flowing like a charm. No problems at all, just 10 minutes in. 8:50 is our time, and a major leadership appointment at Rutgers School of Nursing. Dr. Leo N. Saligan has been named the school's inaugural Vice Dean of Research after nearly 2 decades as a senior investigator at the National Institutes of Health. Dr. Saligan's work centered on understanding cancer-related fatigue. Now he'll help shape research priorities and expand collaborations. We say good morning and congratulations. Welcome to the new position, Dr. Saligan.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me, Ken. So it's great to be here.
Great to have you on. And this is exciting because I know, and I think many of us know, people who've had cancer, people who've been treated with chemo, and how exhausting it is because it's an entire effort, right? You have reduced blood cells, especially if you have cancer, chemo, because many of your own blood cells, the good ones, die along with the healthy ones, or the sick ones. And then you're just exhausted from your body fighting the disease all the time. So you spent years at the NIH. What excited you most about making this transition to Rutgers?
Yeah, it's really, building your network, your infrastructure of collaborators across. And more importantly, which is the heart of really my role as a scientist and in this role, is really mentorship, helping early career investigators really focus on moving forward and expanding and improving their science, the rigor of their science, and more importantly, help patients. That's basically the intent, is having that infrastructure to promote science.
And this is the first time the School of Nursing has had a Vice Dean of Research, right? So what is that involved in? Why did they decide to do that now?
Well, it is an important piece because especially in Rutgers, there's in the School of Nursing, there's just so much exciting research that's going on, and the interest not just in cancers and supportive care, but also in health access, in capacity of the nursing profession, but also its impact on communities across New Jersey and around the country and even globally. So we have so many programs that really needs and provides this kind of leadership in research that would help connect and improve their impact on our communities.
So you're a PhD and an RN. You're a doctor of nursing, right, as well. So you teach nurses, you create nurses, which is amazing, and God bless you for it. And I know there's always a need for nurses, one of the greatest careers on the planet ever. And nurses work very, very hard. And you focused, as we mentioned at the top, on cancer-related fatigue. Yeah. Talk a little bit about how that impacts so many people and how your research is helping to change that.
Well, it stemmed from, of course, my personal experience, having both parents died from cancer, and going through those intensive treatment. It's just I felt so helpless. Being a nurse, you always want to help. You always are there to care. But in my role, although fatigue is a global experience, talking about Thursday or later this afternoon, we get so tired, but it's totally different than just being tired. And this is mostly felt and impactful in patients of course, receiving cancer treatment, or those even who have survived cancer, but also to others who have chronic illnesses. Fatigue is so exhausting that what really drives me in my research is that when patients talk to me, they feel like my tank is empty. I really wanted to understand that from a biological perspective, from a researcher. What do you mean by your tank is empty? So I really dig deeper into what are the biology behind this experience. And so I've looked into, the role of mitochondria, but also its association with other symptoms of depression has been really linked closely to fatigue, as well as, the motivation, but also its impact on having cognitive impairment and all the other symptoms that are associated with it. So I've looked over time, and I've seen, clinical recommendations of fatigue has always been, you need to exercise, but not everyone can exercise. And that takes a really commitment and long-term uh, uh, goal of really doing those exercise. What I've seen is there are specific proteins in our body that can, if you inhibit, you can really see rapid changes in fatigue symptoms. You get this burst of energy, and that's where my clinic at the NIH and now here at Rutgers is looking at the use of low dose ketamine in improving, providing rapid energy for those with chronic fatigue, especially those who are the cancer survivors and those with chronic illnesses. And so I'm really excited in that program, and I think it will provide a lot of support for our cancer survivors and a lot of patients who are suffering with this chronic fatigue.
Mhm. Well, I'm wondering, as we start the shift, and we have been doing it now for over a decade, the shift toward immunotherapy versus
Mm-hmm.
chemo. I know that when you first get immunotherapy, that's wiping of your energy too, right? Because you're
Right.
getting your body's cells now it's like having the flu, right? That's the way it was described
Yeah.
to me by somebody,
Yeah.
because you're getting your body's cells to kill the cancer cells. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that eventually, I mean, I'm sure you are too, that's what you do, that we just have a time in history where we could look back and say, remember when everybody suffered from cancer? Let's pray
Yep.
that day comes sooner than later. It is so good that you are at Rutgers. We're very lucky to have you there, Doctor. God bless you. May you have much success with your career at Rutgers and train many good people in the field.
Thank-
I know there's a website people can go to. I believe it's nursing.rutgers.edu if they want more
That's correct.
information. And
Yes.
we want you back on to talk more about it.
Right. Thank you so much for having me, Ken.
You bet. That's Dr. Leo N. Saligan, the new Vice Dean of Research at Rutgers School of Nursing. Thank you again for coming on. And that is our show for today. Meteorologist Mike Favetta says patchy fog this morning, then some clouds later, high near 40. That's out of Jersey Mornings for your Thursday. I'm Ken Rosato. Catch you again tomorrow morning, starting at 7 a.m. Have a great day.